Greetings, Tetris citizens. It's your old pal Van Dweller back with more Classic Tetris Monthly Masters event for April 2026. And yeah, we've got a match. We have a match for you right now, and it is a top? What is it? Is it a top? It's a top 16 match. I don't know why. Why did it seem to think it was top 8? No, it's a top 16 match between Danv and Dengler. The winner will be the first top 8er into the top 8. Yo, dog, I heard you like top 8. So, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so yeah, that's what we're going to do. Danv versus Dengler. We also have some more. Tonight, we have the green bracket is the last preliminary bracket that we've got to do. That'll be tonight, just a few hours, actually. Evesy versus Shake, winner versus Curie. Eventually, that winner will play me. Rules-wise, players, just want to remind you that this is a best of 5. First player to 3 wins is the winner of the match. Level 18 starts all the way through level 39. Super kill screen will be implemented. We will have an uncapped score as well. Same piece sets re-rolled in between the match. That is something we're doing. You should not receive any advice while you're playing a game. You should not pause while you are playing a game if you do experience tech issues, like with OBS or internet or computer or your CRT or your camera or your capture. Just keep playing. I will sort it out. And the winner gets absolutely something, and that is a share in a prize pool that stands right now at $205.90. If you want to contribute to the prize pool and support the players, use the Match Arena command while you're watching live on Twitch or on YouTube. It's an easy login with your existing Twitch or YouTube or Discord account. I want to thank our patrons for supporting us. If you want to find some ways to support us, use the support command. That'll bring up some ways. And yeah, one big way is Patreon. Big shout out to Scott, Great Jay in the Window, K9 Tacky, Madelsberger, and Dog, Mr. Brain, Corporal Jr., Troy Dan, Kim M, Cat Kid, Java T, Jason, Sunny, Mila. You've also got the usual ways over on YouTube and Twitch. We really, really depend on your support. Literally none of this would happen if we didn't have your support. So if you don't want it to go away, then support the things that you like. Okay, good. We're going to bring our players out. We'll get them all lined up and seated and ready to go. All right, Dengler, was that fast enough? We've had a request from one of the players. It's like, I got class. I'm like, all right, we're trying. You're not even online. You're like, can we move it faster? And you're not even online. Bro. All right, there you are. All right, let me, I think you should be already lined up. All right, Dengler is huge. Big Dengler. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some pieces. And while you're putting the pieces in, I'll reset the cameras and all that. All right, you are backwards, sir, which is good. Don't switch anything. Just leave it as it is. Leave it as it is. All right, once we have both players with their seat in, we will get them started. Okay, looks like both players are ready. 2A8, 4C9. Let's go ahead and get them started. Game number 1, Classic Tetris Monthly Masters event, April 2026, top 16, pink, Danv and Dengler, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. On the left side of your screen, it's Danv, seed number 6 from the UK, PB of 3.83 million, ranked number 9 in the most recent Premier poll. Danv is a prior Masters winner. He won it when it was one of the months we did Faster Masters. And that was all the way back in May of 2023. So looking to get another win under his belt. He's one of the few players to have won a Hopefuls, Futures, Challengers, and a Masters event. I think maybe there's like one or two others. Or maybe just one. Maybe he's the only one. I got to look that up. But those are our 4 kind of, pro, semi-pro level events above the community tournament. And Dan has won. He's won one of each at least once. In fact, exactly once. You also know Dan from CTWC France. He's the champion of France in 2025. He's the runner-up in the Austria Regional this year, just a couple months back. And you've seen him 5 times at the Classic Tetris World Championship, finishing as high as the top 16, which he did in 2022. You've also seen at the Boston, seen him at the Boston event. Events all over. The guy's going all over the world. Went to that DAS event in Germany in 2023. For some reason, he traveled to Columbus, Ohio. Like, why you would go to Columbus, Ohio from the UK? It's probably the only person who's ever done that. Looks like maybe we're experiencing a bit of a drought. I'm not sure exactly because, I'm busy telling you who the players are. 107 here for Danv. All right, looks like Dengler going to survive here. Long bar down, Tetris, and there's one for Dan. So, 135 Dan, 101 Dengler. Looks like we had a contribution to the prize pool from... Give me a moment. Match Reno just decided to log me out. Lex Diskia in the amount of $5. We also had one from Anders. I don't know if that happened this stream or if that was earlier, but I don't remember that one from before. So thank you, Anders and Lex Diskia. Really, really appreciate that. 210.90 is where we're at. 186 for Danv, 150 for Dengler. And on the right, it is Dengler, seed number 11 from the United States, PB of 5.43 million, ranked number 13 in the most recent Premier poll. You can find the full results over at premierpoll.com. Premier with an E at the end. Use the PP command to bring up the whole thing. And there's a new player poll. Man, Premier poll gets a lot of, I don't know, they get a lot of attention here when, Vandy. Who else has mentioned the Premier poll, how to get there, alternate commands to get the link? Who else is doing that? Vandy's such a good guy. But there's a new player poll as well, so that's an interesting thing. 302 here for Danv, 264 for Dengler. Tetris is here worth 22,800, so this is about a 2 Tetris lead for Danv, 1 line apart. But yeah, there's a player poll now where the players will start ranking their peers. So really, really interested to see that. They're not that different. There's, the couple of spots where, they are a little, there's a couple where they're like a few spots apart, but it's actually pretty similar. But anyway, Dengler from, for one thing, he's a former Masters event finalist. He was the winner of multiple regional tournaments in Boston, Connecticut, back-to-back years. He's a former finalist in the Masters event. That was back in June of 2025. That was the Andy Renaissance month. 402 for Dengler, 441 for Dan. And Dengler is a 3-time CTWC gold bracket player. Has never finished outside the top 16. And has a top 4, a top 8, and a top 16 finish in CTWC. And he's a 3-time Mega Master, and has never finished outside the top 16 in that. And he was in the top 8 last year. Of course, Mega Masters next month. 438 for Dengler, 537 for Danv. Mr. Brain says, where can I see the player poll? All right, player with an E at the end. Tetris for Dengler, 461. 562 for Danv. About 100,000 point lead. Danv 8 lines ahead. Dengler's in at 463. Tetris Dengler 494. And dirty Tetris for Dengler in column 8, 1 row up on 19 into 20. By the way, Lee Keel, I want to thank you for your tier 1 sub. I saw that as I was just starting the stream, but forgot to mention it. Thank you, Lee Keel, for your tier 1 sub. 3 months. Just a reminder that if you're an Amazon Prime member, you do get an Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime gaming subscription to give to the streamer of your choice. That is on a monthly basis, but it's use it or lose it. So, why lose it when you can use it? And, use it on us. Dengler, Tetris, 633, 756 for Dan. Tetris Dengler 693. Michael Keaton just subbed on Twitch. Oh my goodness, Michael Keaton. The real actual Michael Keaton. Can't believe it. $846 for Dan, $724 for Dengler. Dan's board starting to climb a bit. And he could use a bar, and he gets it. It's good for a double. It'll knock the stack down. And there is a good L piece to help bring this down. So Dan, good stack. Dengler with the fool's line spin set up there. Not going to get tricked by that. He's going to tuck it in, fix it. You can't line spin that way. 956, Dan 798, Dengler. Had a $10 contribution into the prize pool from Arbaro, who says, join Tetris for the non-pros at tnp.tetris.lol. Thank you, Arbaro. You should join Tetris for the non-pros at tnp.tetris.lol. So Dengler back by about 150,000 points, back by 5 lines. Danv with the dirty Tetris, Dirty Dan. Danv takes the 1.1 into 29. So the B is 1.1 million. Tetris for Dengler, 925. He's got one more Tetris available. And there it is. Dengler into 29 at 962. So it's about 150,000 point lead for Danv at the 29 transition. Dengler with a good low board here on 29. Danv's been ahead really the entire time in this game, number 1. All right, Danv board now complicating and climbing. And yeah, the bar and the S are really going to help him knock this down. Gets a long bar left. Board starting to come down and he's adding points, but Dengler come roaring back. Dengler through this dig for Danv has been clean and Tetrising, and Dengler is just 30,000 points behind. And now Dengler in the lead, 7 lines back. So a costly dig for Danv, and he's still in it. He's trying to survive here, and he's got to bring this down and then try to come from behind at this point. And that is going to be a top out for Danv. He just could not extricate himself from that dig, and Dengler was just super clean and consistent. Not super high scoring during that time, but very, very consistent. I mean, it was reasonable. It came in at 950, and now he's getting 1.2. So it was actually pretty decent pace, but yeah, very just consistent, didn't get into trouble. And Dengler gonna take game number 1. So yeah, good 29 here for Dengler. We'll clinch him that. Go ahead and put some new pieces in the chat. D5 4B99. And let me actually refresh my streams as well. That's probably a good idea. What are we? 6 and 11? There's 6 and 11. Why does Dan have a timer on? Okay, looks like both players are signaling ready, and they're both on seed. Let's go. Game number 2. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. All right, players with their initial builds here. Dengler looking to get his first Tetris. He's open for it again, but he's pretty high, reasonably high on the board. Look at that gap in the board. That's going to complicate things. A couple of gaps. He's not going to be able to Tetris when he gets it in there. So we'll see how he attacks it. And he's starting to establish a few more gaps here in the board. Well, that's all right. Bringing it down. Oh, a little adjust there. And long bar in triple for Dengler. Tetris for Danv. These two faced off for the first time in the Challengers circuit back in 2023 September. That was the month that Danv won the Challengers circuit. And Danv was his top 8 opponent. They met it for the first time in the Masters event in round 1 in 2024 October. Dengler took that one. Met again in the Masters event in the 32 player era. In the top 16, Dengler took that one. And then they met each other in the 2025 Tetris, Classic Tetris World Championship. And that was in the round of 32. So basically round 1. Round 0 is, it's a 48 player tournament. Round 0 eliminates 16 players down to the round of 32, which is nominally round 1. And that was round 1, a decider. I got to go back and watch that. 295 for your Danv, 256 for Dengler. So, yeah, they're 380 points apart, like 2 lines apart. So, very close here. Tetris for Dengler, 371, 348 for Dan. So we've got more Tetris for y'all, by the way, later. We're going to do the green bracket. That's going to be the last of our preliminary brackets. We've got all of our open top 16 spots, except for one, determined. So in about three hours from now, we're going to get the last one all settled. It'll be Evesy versus Shake, winner versus Curie. That is the plan. Looks like I had $5 come in via PayPal from, I think it was Lex Diskia. So thank you, Lex Diskia. Those don't show up on screen, but sometimes they will show up on my phone. So I think that was who that was. So if I'm wrong about who that was, let me know. But I think that was Lex Diskia. So thank you. All right, Dengler's all cleaned up. 435 Dengler. I won't always catch that stuff, but I appreciate it. But yeah, tonight, Evesy versus Shake, winner versus Curie. That'll feed into the match eventually against Meme. And then we'll also have a Stupid Tetris Monthly match right after that. That is going to be the blue bracket. Paco is Taco versus Dylan. Looking forward to that one. That should be immediately after the green bracket from Masters. So yeah, make sure you're there tonight. Danv 627, 594 for Dengler. All right, a little interesting setup there for Dengler. We'll see how he handles this overhang. And he's just going to have to attack it, take the burns. Mr. Brain says, loving the 11 high stack tournament. Thank you, Mr. Brain. Like, I usually have a pretty good idea that, like, when we choose a format, it'll be entertaining, interesting, you know, something that you don't see all the time. But sometimes, I don't know, the viewing public can be a bit skeptical. I think they were the most skeptical about this one, but it's turned out to be super intense. So hopefully y'all are enjoying it. 806 for Danv, 695 for Dengler. Even the players were skeptical. We did not get a ton of qualifiers for this one, but it's really turned out to be like super thrilling and dramatic. So, oh, that left side for Dengler. And yeah, so he's going to have to get a bar over there. And yeah, gets it over. No problem. 771. And a bar down, column 10, Tetris Dengler, 806. Danv at 919. Mr. Brain says, I can't wait to see Andy against strong competition in the later rounds. Yeah, Andy, of course, number one seed in that one. Tetris Danv A60, 884 for Dengler. He gets a long bar into column 7 for a Tetris. He's going to burn a double into 29. He gets in at 922. Danv was in at about A60 something. A63, somewhere in there. Something like that. Close enough. So now we're into level 30. Danv ahead by about 80,000, 87,000. Tetris is on level 31. Going to be worth 38,400. All right, Dengler kind of in trouble. No, that is going to be a top out for Dengler. And Danv is good in game number 2, and we are tied at a game apiece. Oh, thank God the Red Sox are having a good game today. Man, I mean, too much of my daily mood is tied up in the how the Red Sox do. It's really kind of too much, but thank goodness. Urgh. Okay. Looks like both players are ready. Game number 3, Danv versus Dengler. 3-1 Tetris. What's up, Adam Verbus? Violet in the chat. What's going on? $172 for Dan, $166 for Dengler. Same line count as we begin game number 3 of this best of 5. It's the meow song, your favorite? Oh yeah, that little meow, meow. I can see that. I had never thought of that before, but now I will never unhear it. So thanks for that. 265 for Dan, 257 Dengler. All right, Dengler very spiry right now and gets a long bar over 326. So board coming down. Puts a couple of bars to good use. I will not tell him that, NES Steve. in between Matt, in between games. What's up, Trudy? Oh, Jasmine saw the Vits. I missed the Vits. We need like a Vits sideline reporter, you know, who just like covers every Vits, specializing in that. You know, if we had the budget, oh my God, what we would do. Yeah, Vits Cam, the whole thing. $432 for Dan, $444 for Dengler, 2 lines apart. Tetris, Dengler. All right, Danv still digging. It's an orderly dig so far. And he's one piece away from uncovering that right side, and he's gonna uncover it. He's about 10 high. And Tetris for Dan, 470, 558 for Dengler. Is Dengler playing from his dorm? It would appear that way, or he's just got like a random dude just hanging out. I mean, that is dorm furniture. Like that is dorm furniture. No human person like has that furniture. That is dorms. Oh, kind of an adjustment there for Dengler. Not sure that worked out, but we'll see what he can do with this. He's 6 lines away from 19. This bar will help. He's 1 burn away. He's going to take it. He should be able to get something over. Yeah, an immediate long bar feels good, man. 619 for Dengler on 19. Danv's already into 20, 597. Tetris for Dan, 648. So Dan with a slight score lead, but ahead by 10 lines. Tetris for Dengler, 725. Tetris Dan, 768, 781. Dengler, both players low. Reasonable boards. Tetris, Dengler. Oh, Dan's got a little cleanup to do here. He's getting it done. He's got like 4 or 5 rows of garbage over the well, though, so it's going to cost him a bit. It can do that when you get a bunch of S's and no other place to put them. They just, pile on that right side. It's like, dude, I do not want all that stuff over my Tetris well, but you got no other choice. 840 for Dan, 927 Dengler. There's a Tetris Dan, 872. So Dengler ahead, 50,000 points, behind by 12 lines. So it's an advantageous situation for Dengler. Tetris Dan, 944. Dengler has the max out. He's on 26. You're going to get another Tetris. Dan now 1 away from the max on 27. And he's going to get it. Dengler less than one away. He's like a triple away from the 1.1. And he's got the 1.1. And Tetris for Dengler. 2 more Tetrises if he goes no burns before 29. Danv's already into 29 at A88. Cole says, listening while driving, kind of a vibe. Yeah, I do that sometimes. But don't look. Eyes on the road, buddy. B85 for Dengler. B78 for Dan. Dan 12 lines ahead. Dengler pulls back out into the lead. All right, Dan's board climbing. He's on 31. It's green and climbing. And I don't know if Dan can survive this. And really, both players are in the process of topping out. And they both top out at the same time. Dengler does so, though, with the lead. And Dengler going to go up 2-1. So, yeah, Dengler was in 32, I think. 32. Danv in 31. It was about a 28,000-point lead or 26,000-point lead. They both topped out at the same time. Different parts of the sequence, though. ATC Life says, where is Scooty? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Well, you know, Scooty doesn't play in every Tetris match. Just so you know, there are there are some Tetris matches where Scooty doesn't play. And this is one of them. So I assume maybe he's at school or at home. I don't know. All right, looks like both players are ready. Let's go game number 4. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. So Danv has got to win this one to force a decide in game 5. Dengler wants to win it right now so he can run to class. But yeah, that's a good question because Scooty did not submit a qualifier for this month. So he must be taking a break or something like that. Players don't necessarily play every single month. I think it's probably a good thing. Although interesting for Scooty because he had, not sorry not to spoil it for those of you who missed it, but Scooty was on a 6 Masters win streak, which will be broken, or no, won't be broken, but it'll be that streak will be snapped this month. Mr. Burrow said Scooty should try harder. He should be in every match. So yeah, I don't know. Every time I say something like there's that record will never be broken, and then it's like it's broken. Like, and I want to say like, oh, I don't see how anyone could win 7 Masters events in a row. Like, if we stay around long enough, I guess someone will do it. Will we stay around long enough? Well, that depends on you guys. If you're an Amazon Prime member, remember, you've got an Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime gaming subscription to grant to the streamer of your choice on a monthly basis, so do not lose it. Use it on us. And if you don't have one of those, consider subscribing anyway. I missed one from Zempro and Colby about 20 minutes ago. So Zempro, yeah, I wasn't looking at chat. I was looking at my unified YouTube and Twitch chat does not show me subscribers on Twitch for some reason. So I didn't see it. So thank you, Zempro and Colby, for your subs. Appreciate that. 46 months, Zempro. 60 months for Colby. TPIO also rated us with 3 viewers. So thank you and welcome to the Raiders. In Argentina, we're all Scooty fans. All right. Easy peasy with the prime sub, 9 months. Thank you, easy peasy. See how easy and peasy it was? So easy. 316 for Dan V. Dengler going to set up a Vitz. Long bar comes, fills in the Vitz. Shake QC says, little known fact, Scooty was born in Argentina. What the heck? Oh my God. Who would have thought? $362, Dan 471 for Dengler. Danv gotta win this one to get into that top 8. Oh my word. Chat, you are out of control. I was born on Saturn? That would be cool. I wish that were true. Oh, Shake, we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet. We'll see. We'll see. Let's hope. All right, Tetris Danv 543. Dengler in a bit of a pickle. Well, yes, for now. So yeah, Dengler in a drought, 19 drought. He's fighting. This is some great pieces for Dengler, and he will survive. You could tell, yeah, he had concerned face on, but he made it through. No, not 100% out of the woods. Needs to fill in the middle, but he's low and he can manage it. So there you go. Espin Dengler. What's up, Meme? Meme is in the chat. Little known fact, Meme was born in Canada. I mean, that would have been like a huge reveal. Like, she was not really born in Canada, but like, you know, she, you know, wins at events and says, "Oh no, an American, ah." And then all of a sudden it's like, "No, I'm actually Canadian. I was Canadian the whole time." Oh, a little tuck there for Dengler. Long bar in Tetris for him, 946. Danv, 869. He's ahead by 4 lines, back by 70,000 points. Dengler, clean. Danv, unclean. Kingsman says, why is Dengler's roommate not watching monthly Tetris? What kind of support is this? I mean, I got to imagine those of you with roommates. Oh, there's a nice tuck setup for Dengler. Those of you with like roommates, they must think you're like the biggest nerds. Like, why are you all playing this? Like, what is going on? Why do you do this? Why do you have an old tube TV in our dorm room? B20 for Dengler, A32 for Danv. He's into 29. Tetris for Dan, A77, B95 Dengler. So Dan back by 110,000 points. No, I don't think he's watching monthly Tetris. He's watching some cartoon garbage. I mean, a beautiful cartoon that it's totally valid to enjoy. I meant, sorry. I don't like cartoons. B09 for Dan. C57 for Dengler. Long bar in Dengler. See, there's a Tetris for Danv. Back by 136,000 points or so. Danv ahead by about 10 lines, though. So Danv has got to stay efficient, got to keep scoring. And that is what he is doing. Oh, misdrop there. Commentator curse. And Dan now back by only 30,000 points. But again, this like 13 to 15 lines ahead is a problem. So Dengler at D44, Danv at D17. He's clean again. Long bar in Tetris for Danv. So he's got the score lead, but he's ahead like 14 lines. Another Tetris for Danv, E07. He's set up for another. He's burning it down. He's getting another one. E58 for Danv. 13 lines to go. Dengler at D71. A Tetris for Danv. He's got the F score. That is a 1.5. He's setting up for another one. He gets a long bar in F61 for Danv. The chase down for Dengler is F62. He's got 12 lines to do it. Tetris is here. Oh boy, are worth nearly 48,000 points. And no, that is not going to be enough. And Danv is going to tie it up, and we have ourselves a decider. And that means Dengler is going to be running to class. So I put the pieces in the chat. 948FF1. Wow. So Danv really just went ham right there toward the end. Nearly flawless at the end, like one little misdrop. And I was like, oh man, that misdrop, is that going to be the difference? My goodness. Oh, the roommate with that giant, is that the roommate with that giant Corona bucket? You don't think the teacher knows your name? Is it it's like a big lecture? Oh, that's yours? Oh man. That's cool. Was that your first beer? The Kingsman says Dengler's first beer. Well, he's probably still working on it. That would be a big one. 948FF1. Let's go. Decider time. Danv versus Dengler. The winner goes to the top 8 in 3-2-1 Tetris. That roommate, do you guys? Oh, I don't know if you guys. He's not a huge YouTuber, but he's kind of hilarious. He kind of looks like this YouTuber, Father Fi. He's a guy who he asks ChatGPT like random questions that break ChatGPT. Like he uses the AI to ask it, things like to count to 200, and it can't count to 200, and it messes up in hilarious ways. Or he asks it these weird ethical dilemmas, and he's always trying to trip up the AI. And I don't know. I really like Father Fi lately. And Dengler's roommate looks like Father Fi. I've been in that room. The cooler has Red Bull in it. Oh, is it a cooler? Oh. Van D, have you run any tournaments with a level 29 start? Why, yes, we have, but it was the crunch mode tournament. So was it 4-wide? 4-wide crunch mode tournament. That did have a 29 start. So not a regular tournament, like a regular Tetris, but I gotta be honest, I don't find that super interesting. Personally, and I just have to find it personally interesting to run it. And if somebody wants to run it, somebody else could run something like that, but I don't find it super interesting. All right, so Dengler is like, what the heck? You've seen that guy ask AI count to 200? Yeah, I like his channel a lot. All right. Dengler up near the top of the board. I mean, other people can find it interesting. That's fine. I'm not reproaching you. I'm just saying I don't personally find it interesting, and that's okay. All right, so Dengler going to survive a little bit of a scare there. Danv up 279. He's at 279 now. Tetris is 302. Dengler 206. You love fasters, but you think without SPS is kind of mid. Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing what whenever we get a new version of Tetris Gym. I think one of the asks has been, and I think it's on the radar, like adding same piece sets to multiple training modes and things like that. It'd really make a lot of our Faster Masters stuff, not our Faster Masters, our Stupid Tetris Monthly stuff, that much better. But if we're going to do a 29 start, I don't want to just like, all right, well, we start on 29 and then we just play on that speed until like 39 super kills. Like, I don't know. It would have to be something else, like maybe some kind of, crash mode tournament where you start, I don't know, colors tournament where you start off on the colored levels. Something like that. But just straight, boring 29 starts. I don't think that's interesting to me. We had an invitational 29 meme says, this is meme. We had an invitational 29 start tournament with 8 players. Scooty won against Sidnev in the finals. I mean, so if it's just going to be the same players, winning and playing in the finals as in the regular tournament, then kind of like, what's the difference? You know what I mean? I mean, obviously it's good to have that. You should run it if you like it. But I don't know. I would want there to be some other wrinkle. You know what I mean? Like some other, all right, start on the colors levels and play to the crash screen or something like that. Some other aspect besides just, we start on 29. You know what I mean? That's just I don't know. I have to be into it to run it. I'm not saying your tournament was boring, but I'm just saying, you know, I'm just saying I don't want to run it. All right, so Dengler 453, 13 lines away. Oh my goodness, he is very dependent. And he is back by 90,000 points, and he needs a bar like toot sweet. Can't even use it right now. He's got to open, and he's got to find a bar when he needs it. Oh no, that left side for Dengler, and that is going to be a top out. He knows he cannot survive, and that is going to do it. Danv is good in this decider. Oh my goodness. Danv, you will be moving on to the top 8. And Dengler going to run to class. So you could tell it was a very frustrating match for Dengler, really, from beginning to end. I mean, not a match, the game 5. From beginning to end, it was just kind of couldn't quite get the pieces whenever he needed them. But Danv, oh my God, Danv, what kind of message are you sending to people? Why would you say that to someone? Danv, that's terrible. What? Danv, that is a terrible, inappropriate statement to make to someone. No, he didn't do that. That's Danv's timer. So for some reason he had a timer, and the "you suck" is is aimed at him, not at his opponent. that like when you run your timer, like mine says okay, his says "you suck." GG Stanley. I can see the YouTube comments now. It's very inappropriate, very unsportsmanlike for Danv. Shame on Danv. But anyway, congratulations, Danv. You have made it into the top 8. Let me go ahead and report this. I'll show you the bracket. Where are we? I don't know. Is this Masters? Masters bracket. And it was who? Oh yeah, Pink. Report 3-2. I did not know that was going to come up. I just wanted to see what I wanted to see Dan celebrate. I had no idea. I had no idea that was coming up. I just wanted to see him celebrate. I swear, I promise. But yeah, I mean, that's what my timer does too. My timer is like, if I turn on my time, see how mine says okay? Just to vindicate Danv here, my stream timer. That's what I use. I don't know what he uses, but watch, like it's gonna count down 3 seconds and then say okay, right? So his is the same thing. I don't know, why was he running a timer? That's what I don't understand. Anyway. All right, we'll show you the whole thing. That is it. Danv is the first one into our top 8. So assuming we make our prize pool goal, that means he has made it into the prize phase. Hopefully we will make our top 8 goals so that he can do that. And Danv a bit, kind of on the rise a bit. So, you know, he sometimes he would kind of struggle a bit, you know, kind of get to the top 16, maybe occasionally get the top 8, but he's got like 3 consecutive top 16s or higher, 3 consecutive top 8s. So in the money 3 months in a row, which is great for Dan. So. Oh, like he had to bounce. Yeah, I see. All right. Anyway, all right. We will be back in 2.5 hours, and what we're gonna do is the green bracket: Evesy versus Shake, winner versus Curie. Hopefully that match happens. It's a possibility that the second match might not happen. is what I heard, but hopefully it will. And then after that, it's going to be STM. Yeah, STM top 8. Paco is Taco versus Dylan. So that's what we're going to do later tonight. So join me for that. Thanks to those of you who supported the stream. New followers, I'm not going to pronounce that, but thank you. Lee Keel, Michael Keaton, C-Dubs, Not Zempro, Easy Peasy with the Twitch subs, Twitch raid, TPIO, thank you so much. Patrons, thank you, Scott Gray, Jay, No Window, Kanan, Taggy, Madelsberger, and Dog, Mr. Brain, Corporal, Junior, Detroit, M, Kemp, M, Cat Kit, Java T, Jason, Sunny, Mila. And, oh, wait, that is not what I wanted to. Did you know? Jasmine, did you know that a VITS is a vertical iTuck setup? A gap 4 blocks high made to fit an incoming long bar? Did you know? That's not what I meant to bring up. I meant to bring up this. Oh, God, we had a... oh, wait, that's not it. That's the wrong one. I meant to bring up this. There it is, 220.90. So we had some contributions to the prize pool this stream. And they came from Arbaro, Lex Diskia, and Anders, and Amanda. So thank you for your contributions. Really appreciate that. All right. I will see you guys in a few hours. I might run to Costco, actually. So take care, YouTube. Thanks for hanging out. Mr. Brain, Mr. Burrow, Mr. Briner, Mr. Trudy, Mr. Everybody's Mr. All right. There's only like 2 Misters, but all right. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, Frank, yeah, it's happening in 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours, Frank. All right. Bye-bye. Mansion with the raid. Thank you, Mansion. Good job. Good job. We'll go ahead and find a re-raid. We'll do the old re-raid. I'm going to raid our good friend Wallband, who's doing DAS world record attempts. Let me see if he's still going. I don't know if he's still... we'll raid him anyway. Why not? I don't care. Raid Wallband. Raid Wallband. Take care. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.